Hey.
Thanks, Jesse.
Now I hear it.
So this is the report ending February 29th. Updates previous months, nothing to report back. Work management, still for full-time employees, employee training, in-house SOPs, and we all completed the online cybersecurity training. Nothing to report on the building operations, inspections, monthly fire inspections, AED, emergency lights, road sidewalks, parks, etc. Bi-weekly road reports and pothole patching continues. Installed the speed sign and solar panel on the pole at Michigan and between Louisa and Arthur. Parks and public spaces, Boer fencing started work on the capital project at McCray. New fence and posts. Also, they added this section at the hockey pad at the tennis courts, all from the 2023 capital. Dave Beatty removed the welcome sign at Michigan and Christina to repair and fix. And you probably noticed he put a little sign up saying coming soon.
Oh, out for facelift.
Yeah.
That's good.
Removed a couple of the picnic tables that needed pressure washing and potentially boards replaced. Jim asked me to do some assessments on those, so that's ongoing. Inspections, audits, and reports. Jim had this building inspector in to discuss any additional emergency exit signage. She didn't seem to think that we needed any extra. She just thought maybe to direct the lights differently, so we've done that just turned the lights off and made sure it lit up. Haven't heard back from her since, so we've done our in-house playground inspections, just due to the fact that being used a little more. We've gone around and done we usually do a standard check, not anything official, but we do it once a month usually. Don't start it till later, but started it early. Vehicles, we've taken the damaged plow to Sandridge for repair. It's dropped off, still waiting on it. Other motorized equipment and tools, replace both fuel filters on the diesel pumps on our tanks that are in the yard. Picked up the final Honda weed whacker that we ordered from 2023. Our line painting machine was taken to Chatham for service. And then the wood shaper was taken to Vermeer for its annual inspection and service. Health and safety, no issues. Security, no issues. Capital budget, we had a preliminary meeting with Tina, submitted some ideas, and then we've had Boer fencing in doing that McCray Park. Community feedback, we haven't had any issues. Okay. Looking ahead, we're starting to get more confirmed entries into the Google Village calendar that we have for the sports bookings. We had one new booking for McCray Park. And then we have been doing some interviews with the summer students. Actually come to final number or we've actually hired 4 kids, local kids, Point Edward kids for that. So that's good. That's obviously not in February, but that's done now. Planning for spring. Closing comments. As usual, they're
Wonderful.
written by, I will say, Mr. Hopko, as I have to read them. And he's waving to you, by the way.
You don't have to be.
Winter and spring continue to argue about who has the right to be here. And Agent Corey closed the case on the Banana Bandit. The offender could not give him the slip. That's kind of an inside joke that somebody was constantly throwing banana peels in one spot, and we always said, oh, one of these days we're going to catch them. And one day Corey was on the 4 a.m. and he saw the guy fling it out the window. So we finally figured out who it was. It was about 1.5 years we've seen it. We see it on the garbage truck. We all see where they are. So the one day he actually saw the guy do it. So
And it's not one of our people.
no, it's just somebody. I think they're coming from Arrow Road West, turning to go to the valley. And I mean, it's just a banana peel, but we always made a joke that we called them the Banana Bandit. So yeah. Anyway, so there's a little bit of history on what that's about. Yeah. Any questions or comments?
Any questions, Your Worship?
No. Yeah. I'm glad you got these summer students done, because it's nice for the students to know that they've got,
Yeah, it was nice getting an early start on
They
that
got
this year. I think that's been
it's locked up for them.
and I feel like we probably got, a better number of resumes that way too,
Okay.
which was nice.
Good.
Yeah. So.
I just have one comment. Looks like the fence at McRae is complete now, the back.
It is, there's a couple of minor little things that I called him to come and do. It was just tying the two fences together.
Sure.
But other than that, it is complete. Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah, it is. It's tall.
Yeah, it's tall.
It is. Like, it, once you finally see how big, tall it is, there's
Yeah.
no getting balls over that thing.
Yeah.
Not unless,
That's all.
but yeah, so I called him the other day. We went and looked at it and I just need him to tie the two pieces together. And, yeah, he said they'd get that done for us.
And he's completely done at Monk Street.
Oh, yeah, that's done. That was done a
Yeah,
while ago.
yeah.
That was, that was a
Yeah.
fairly easy job for them,
Yeah,
I think,
that's good.
so. Yeah, they had to rent a lift to do the top section. That's why McCray he was hoping the ground would freeze, but. This year it just didn't really, so he took a nice dry time
Yeah.
and did it. And they didn't do a lot of damage there, like we had to look around and. So we'll probably start working on the diamond here in the next week or two, getting the ruts out of it. They're not bad though. So get the bags in fairly soon and get it prepped.
I just had one question when you talked about that community calendar. So does everyone know it exists? So what, like, the reason for my thought process is we have a baseball league, say, that's been playing.
Yeah.
And somebody goes in and books into the calendar and books those.
They can't book in, they call us.
Okay, that's.
And we don't give away anybody's spots. Like
Yeah,
I had a
that's how-
call
that's
from a
what I meant.
lady and I said, if we're gonna give away a spot, we'll contact them. I have a
Okay.
list of people that always have the bookings.
Yeah, I just wanted to be sure
Yeah.
that way, thank you.
Yeah, we won't give away anybody's regular spot. Like I just assume they're coming back. 'Cause
Yeah,
they've been
okay,
coming
that's
back.
good.
So the one that we did give, Jim and contacted me and we had Monday nights available. So that was what we
Yeah,
offered.
that's good.
Yeah.
With it busy. Thank you.
And nothing else?
No.
Receive and file that report?
So did it.
Okay.
Mm.
Next item is the arena and ice floor rental rates.
Again, just the description there that.
Yeah.
The report is basically ready to go. We're just waiting for the final numbers to put into it. And we hope to have that for budget day.
Okay. The next one is one that I submitted. City of Sarnia yesterday at their council meeting, at their abbreviated council meeting, talked about, this e-bike pilot study. And they did tentatively approve that. So what that means is that electric assisted bikes are gonna be allowed on city trails. They also had a piece there, which is, for the, what's it called? The cycling without age, the Trishaw. They're gonna, that's a separate one. They're gonna allow that on their trails. And that was one of the reasons, like, I know when.
Those might not make it through our zigzags on. the
Well,
highway.
Yeah, but Deb knows she used to drive it and she was hesitant to drive it on the trails.
Well, I
because
did, but I saw somebody else do it,
It was electric assist, right?
and it takes up the whole trail
Yeah.
too, like, there's no
We're putting
passing.
a speed limit on these things.
Well, there's a whole bunch of proposals that the city's gonna look at, but. Since I brought this up because our trail has no motorized vehicles at all, it says. So now, if they allow e-bikes and e-bikes only, they're talking about electric assisted, they're not talking about scooters, they're not talking about full electrics. Those aren't allowed still, based on the discussion they had yesterday. So. I'm bringing it up just so that we're aware, like, is there something we need to do or?
Well, there's
we
lots
wanna
of them
do?
on there. There's been lots of them on there for the last couple of years.
We know that, and
Yeah.
it's enforcement's an issue, so it's an issue, but I was just bringing it up because I'm also our trails representative for Lincoln County and. It wasn't brought up at the trails meetings even, by the city. Blue Water Trails did get involved and made some recommendations, but they aren't really in favor of it. So I'm just bringing it up that it's something that I don't know how we deal with it, what we do about it. It's just maybe information right now that they've got this study, so I don't know what. what more to say.
We'll just gotta respect each other.
Well, it's etiquette and everything else, right?
Yeah.
But I know, Sarnia did a study, or they did a survey, and 55% of the respondents were against these bikes coming on
Yeah,
the trail, even though they're
45%
already
of the
there,
bikes.
you know? We know they're already there and all that, but anyway, so I'm just bringing it up for information. I don't know what
I think-
we want to do.
You know, I think about the only thing we could do is some kind of an education campaign.
Yeah.
That, you know, technically they're not permitted on our paths, but as long as you're being respectful. And, you know, not flying up behind people and you're, you know. Having respect for other people.
Yeah.
Then you'll get along just fine.
Yeah.
So the-
We get a handful of complaints every year, I would say, of excessive speed. And, you know, people getting scared because people come up behind them and don't warn them they're coming. Those things happen whether they're electric vehicles or not, right? I mean, there are people that ride their bikes at 35, 40 kilometers an hour and they scare people.
Mhm.
That's not really what the path is meant for. I don't think it's meant for more leisurely. And it's multi-use path, so to me, that's all we can really do. And again, enforcing rules would be very difficult. The OPP is out on their bikes a fair little bit.
I saw them give a
and-
ticket before to a scooter,
And I think that would, you know, the OPP being out there would just,
not this year.
would help to calm things down a little
Yeah.
bit, but,
Yeah.
so we can do, you know, I can maybe work with the Trails Committee, might have some access to some educational material we can use about respecting your fellow trail users and that type of deal.
Yes. Well, in the documentation that I sent from the city there's, Blue Water Trails has their recommendations that they'd like to see, as well as Lampton Public Health. They weighed in on it as well, saying that, you know, here's some things that we'd like to see. A lot of it's etiquette, right? And, you know, possibly bells, you know, you should have a bell on your bike,
You legally have to,
so.
if you look at the law.
Yeah.
You have to have reflectors and some sort
Yeah.
of bell on your bike according to the laws of this now.
You know, and
If you use it, it's another story.
Yeah,
this issue is not unique to us, it's everywhere,
Oh, yeah,
right? So
they're huge now, especially with retired.
I can still pedal my bike, so I'm okay. Anyways, that was all that is, just, I guess it's a receiving file. Next item of business is the St. Clair Street reconstruction. And I've asked the CAO if we could maybe include this in our monthly meetings, just so we can get an update. And it doesn't have to be anything long or whatever, just to update us and any residents watching on the status of the schedule or something, just something high level.
Yeah.
So,
I circulated the two pieces of correspondence that went out to the neighborhood residents back on the 1st of March approximately. One is, you know, a bit of an update on what's going on with the project, when it'll start. And then the other is about the loan program the village is offering for residential water service hookups. What you can expect to see this year, and it started already, is locate work. In this month, you'll see, and the company that goes in and does the assessments on houses and driveways and that type of thing, they have started their work now. Before too long, the contractor will be in working on the temporary water service that needs to go in. And then weather dependent, they're anticipating starting construction on the 1st of April, on or about the 1st of April.
Mhm.
So that's what we have for now.
There should be a survey through who should there not.
Yes, yeah. That should be, yeah, people, they're gonna mark out, you know, Lydia's asked them to mark out. Like in parking lots, especially in the commercial area, how much people's parking lots are actually gonna get used up by. So yeah, they should be out, before too long, they might even be out already.
Saw a survey put out today, I don't
Yeah.
know, if it's for some point. Yeah, there was a guy in today.
what is the deadline for the water program? Just. for
There
people
isn't
to-
really one,
There must be some point in time though where you'd have to be signed up or not. When the pipes go in.
we don't have a deadline at this point. Oh, and it's not, So the residential services are not tied to our work. Our
Okay,
engineer has recommended that the village do their work first,
okay,
and then if the resident wants to replace the service, they do it after.
okay,
So, you know, council may want to at some point say, you know, like, let's, if this project's gonna be done by the end of August, I don't know.
okay,
And then we might say, okay, if you want to take advantage of this program, you need to do it by the end of September. But we can send that communication out at a later date. There was no timeline included, and anybody that I've talked to, I've told them, you know, our engineer says you should let us do our work first and then you
okay.
connect.
I wasn't looking at it
but-
that way. I was thinking you had to do it while the road was ripped up, so
No.
it doesn't matter.
You
Okay,
can't do it while the
you
road's
can't
ripped
do
up.
it. Okay,
I mean, potentially you could do it before. But for whatever reasons, our engineer said we should do ours first and then go in and hook into it. Yeah, you don't wanna have the road construction
right,
going
no,
on while the
I did
residential.
think about it that way, but I understand it.
I did have a question asked of me about the, I guess the site survey or whatever, like not a survey, but. You know, why do they wanna come in and see my property and that? And I-
So it's
If
like
you damage it,
quite
Well,
often,
That's why I explained, I
Yeah.
said it's for insurance reasons,
it's
to
for
make sure
their
that it's,
protection.
you know, it's left the way it was started.
Yeah,
Well, there's high levels of vibration, that's how that was explained to us too. So people will say, oh, the vibration's cracking the foundation,
oh,
which basically it's a cover your butt scenario as that crack was there. We know it, we have a picture of it. That's how Lydia kind of, I asked about it too, because I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
They were at our shop the other day, doing the one for our shop. He does show up in just his vehicle, so people might be like, it's not like a business
Yes,
vehicle, so it is a little.
Yeah.
You know,
well, this was more of an information question, like what's, I mean, I've never heard of this before.
it's like your driveway cracks, that kind
Yeah.
of, that's how
no,
they
it's,
explain it. to
it's
us.
pretty common
Yeah.
practice.
There's a lot of compaction, there's a lot of vibrations, so.
Okay. Anything more on that? I think so. It's good to see that things are progressing and, yeah, there's lots of vehicles and bodies walking around St. Clair Street lately.
So the one thing you know, Lydia is really taking the lead on this project, and she had asked that if you have questions, like if the public has questions, her contact information is out there.
she gave on the
If
fridge. magnet.
counselors have
Oh, is that right?
questions, they should direct them towards Lydia and
Yeah.
kind of let the construction people do their thing. And if public contacts you with concerns, then you go to Lydia with the concerns.
Sure.
And, you know, that's
Make
where,
sure all council has Lydia's number and contact information. I don't have it
It
present.
should be on those constant contacts.
She,
too.
so every resident on St. Clair Street got a letter, and in the letter is a fridge magnet with the phone number on it.
And I know the thing that Jim sent out, I usually read them, I know her number was also listed, of contact on that constant contact that went out. 2 or 3 of them went out. and
Yeah,
all
there's-
her-
there's been a
And her
pair.
informa- I
Did you
didn't
have-
see a phone number or email on that, that's all.
But if you had a question, you should be sending it
Yeah.
to Jim.
Okay,
She's trying.
but I can
right?
pass it on if other people.
Yeah,
right?
like you can,
Sometimes,
you probably, if somebody brings a concern to you, you should probably send it to me
Yeah.
and Lydia.
Yeah.
And that way we both, you know, I can do some follow-up, and Lydia is very good at getting back to people. Like I get phone calls here. If I can't handle the question, I send Lydia an email and she's dealt with it pretty quickly.
But I was impressed with these little magnets. I
Yeah.
thought, what a cool idea that is.
Okay. hey, next item. Capital budget. Okay, what are we doing for personal work? Arena,
You have copies for us? I didn't realize we were doing this today, so.
I have. I
It'll
can
be up
give
on
you-
the screen
oh,
in a minute. Or, well, just a minute.
Blow it up.
Big, big, big.
So we can start with revenues. Everything that's highlighted there in green are the revenues to pay for the project on St. Clair Street. So as you can see, we're the current plan is to borrow about 3.475 million approximately. And then everything else is coming out of reserves. Or grants, yeah.
Okay.
So that's the main revenue that that's dealing with the public works area. Then if we go to arena, there's some money carried forward for that floor repair that needs to be done in the Zamboni, in the Olympia parking space. Do you want to go through these item by item, or do you just want to ask questions that you may have? Whatever your,
So just to let the managers know, books have been done based on these numbers. But we're just trying to get an idea of what we can take out on budget day, or what your thoughts are since we have these items. But you still want them in there on budget day? Or wait for discussion on budget day, or what? Like, we're not gonna redo the books, but it's feedback.
books today.
Yeah.
So this inspections have to be done on the roof every 5 years. A second contribution to the arena or the Olympia ice resurfacing machine. And there's descriptions. I attached the capital budget agenda, which has a brief description of every item.
Yeah.
Emergency lighting signs, so the things what's in there now is the old red.
Yeah.
Signs, they've gone to a new green.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's to replace those. 3 new dressing room heaters. 2 of them, there are 2 that need to be replaced, and then the third one is just to have one on hand for eventual replacement when needed. This portable audio system controls is so that people can tie into the existing sound system remotely. They could from the ice surface or
Oh,
compressor rebuild is already completed and was pre-approved. Ride-on scrubber batteries that's completed and pre-approved by me at least. Whether it becomes part of the capital budget or if you tell us we got to fit it into maintenance somewhere, but we thought it should go in capital because it's a once every few year type deal. Hockey nets get replaced every 2nd year. That's the cost on the hockey nets.
Yeah.
And then Point Edward Minor has requested a new lock, electronic lock for the storage room that they have access to. And then a reserve, if we put a contribution to reserve for equipment in the concession booth of $1,500. I believe we've done that once.
We did that once, right?
So this would be a
Wow.
second contribution to that. The community hall, replacing a door, and this is off the kitchen for the community hall. And then they have requested that we buy new tables. I think that's everything in the arena community hall area. If there's any questions or.
Okay, on the Pima push button request,
Mhm.
I have a hard time with that one because that's not, that's. The system there is now with the locks and keys works. I don't see the point of us having to pay for a push button. When it's, there's no benefit to the arena for that, is there, Derek? Like, I know you and I talked about this and we're not in agreement with that.
So what we can do, Tina's going back and she has a copy of this budget that she can make changes to. It's not going to change what's in the book.
No.
And then I will make a list of any recommendations that the committees make today
Sure.
so that we don't miss any of them on budget day.
Yep.
And that'll just be a listed.
Like to see that removed?
I think we should, is there any discussion about that from anyone?
I just think the key system works
Yeah.
fine. I think they need to come up with a better system of signing keys. If someone takes, if the coaches or the manager gets keys at the end of the year, they need to have a system where they return them. So that next year, the new coaches and managers, $1,600 is a lot of keys.
Yeah,
It's a big idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's into the hockey staff, so they don't lose it.
Just, well, even the concession reserve, like we did 1,500 last year, we never had one before. Is it necessary to do it again? Not a lot of money, but we're 1.5 over million, so we've gotta find money.
Or we can cut it even. But I think we can talk about it that way.
Okay.
But, I mean, you can make a recommendation, but everybody's gonna weigh in on it.
Well, we'll just hold it off.
I agree, I don't, you know.
Is that not used for like, when there's a repair that needs to be done in there, instead of it coming out of
Your budget.
my budget or the arena budget? Comes out of that
It was a
separate
specific,
line?
yeah, there was a piece of equipment replaced a few years ago,
Yeah.
and that's why we decided
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
to establish a reserve so that we'd have something set
they
aside.
needed, and it was a new fridge or a fryer or something they had to buy, so. But if they got 1,500, never spent any money, you could cut down the 1,500,
But the reason they chose that was so when there was a big
yeah,
repair, you guys just started with that
Right.
amount. You wanted to build it up.
right,
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we can talk
yeah,
budget day.
and see what happens.
They're getting the requests for tables. There were the requests last year that was brought forward and they changed, like apparently it was brought forward and then they changed their mind, so now we just delayed this a year. And the Optimus, I remember, Deputy Mayor Grimes brought it up last year
I
and
didn't,
then it got,
I didn't think it got
well,
changed their mind, I think we didn't approve it.
well, no, it didn't,
Yeah.
they changed, my understanding is from what I look back at, the Optimus in turn didn't want it at the time, so now we just delayed it a year, right? So we can talk about
Derek?
that.
I think they wanted round tables was the discussion.
Last year,
Last
oh, these
year,
are regular
These
tables?
are regular tables just to
Okay.
replace, they
Okay,
figure they got 20 that are getting beat up. and
I remember about
Yeah.
the round table.
rather
yeah,
than
okay, that's
one
right.
round
Sorry.
tables.
round versus, yeah, okay, we can talk about that.
So this is replacing what we have.
That's it for arena? You know, public works.
So this is a place where there's some room for, we have, the first item is the heavy truck reserve, which was started last year. And then Steve has gotten prices on a replacement truck, so that is, like to make this a little bit bigger because I can hardly read it.
That's the 218,400,
And the 185.
185.
Yeah, so there's 400,000 and basically that can come out. What's do you like? It's getting very, very close to the time when we need to replace a truck. Approximately a 2-year delivery. If we were to order it today, it would probably take about 2 years to get it. So I think Steve's idea was just to make sure that council was aware of what the cost of this vehicle would be when the time did come.
And
So-
the timeline on it.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so that, I mean, there's 400,000 that can come out, pretty much right away.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure we keep the $60,000 because that'll give us 120 in that reserve,
Yeah.
for a vehicle.
So you said it's getting close to the time to order with a 2-year delivery?
Yeah,
But it's
so,
not this year?
so our
Well-
plan is to come back maybe to a future committee meeting with recommendation on the truck and the
I don't know
recommendation.
what you guys, the replacement is usually 8 to 10 years. And
Oh, it'll be in the asset management plan, what the,
I believe it's 8 years in the asset management plan, so we're beyond that in
Yeah.
a lot of vehicles.
everything.
You know, 8 years to me is, I think that's something you guys need to talk about, but that's not for me
Yeah.
to say, but.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a lot of vehicles that are 8 years plus now, so that's a scary number if you had to actually replace everything that was 8 years old.
Yeah, it's not very feasible to be replacing these types of vehicles every 8 years based on the amount they get used here. So
Yeah.
that's something that we may want to adjust in our asset management plan. You know, we might be replacing passenger vehicles every 8 years, maybe. And just because it says in the asset management plan that your plan is, you know, you're doing your planning based on an 8-year replacement. If it doesn't make sense to do it, you know, do it. But I think what I'm hearing is that we need, you know, the truck is older than the 8 years and it's getting to the point where we need to replace it.
Yeah.
So, I think what Steve and I talked a little bit about the other day is bringing a report to the committee after budget. And, you know, this is potential ordering the truck now and, for delivery in a couple of years.
Okay, so before we go any further, we only have $260,278 of MAP money to use this year. 39's already pre-done in your sponsorship type, so we have about 221 left that we use. So right away, you know, that waterfront playground, 453 gonna have to come down, so we have enough to, and MAP to cover that. So that's an area that we could reduce for now. When we get there, but just.
Yep.
We have an idea, because there's probably other items in here that you're gonna wanna use out of MAC. And last year, what we did is whatever was left, that's what we put towards the playground equipment.
Yes.
For now, I used the amount that was left from the original quote, so. It's not gonna work this year.
So the 60,000 for the reserve, we'd like to leave. Tree trimming is kind of an annual thing. Waterfront park materials and paying for one summer student is an annual thing. We're carrying forward, there was money in the budget last year for new pickup trucks, we're carrying that forward. And then some upgrades at Veterans Park was carried forward, and the backstop at McCray Park was carried forward, it's done now. Condition assessments, $250,000 is pre-approved, and that project's pretty much close to wrapping up now. Street sweeper of $240,000.
That's all the attachments.
And yeah, and then there's three attachments,
4 attachments.
three
Three
attachments and an
warranty.
extra warranty, yeah. So those, that totals up to about 270,000 approximately.
I have a hard time with that one when we pay $8,000 a year now to get it done.
We get asked to submit that every year. so
Yeah,
that's
well,
why it's submitted.
Yeah, we did it 2
Yeah.
years ago, I think.
Yeah,
Delayed
and
and
it
delayed.
continues to be asked, so I continue to
Yeah.
submit it.
But for now, you want it removed again, just based on, or wait till budget day?
I'd like to see it removed now. Why wait?
Well, I just think everybody needs the opportunity to see
Okay.
it. Like,
Okay.
I don't know.
So
I'm
if
trying
we
to be
take
fair
them-
to everybody.
If
So,
we take the money out of the budget, the item will still show.
okay,
We'll just, on the separate budget that Tina's working from right now, we'll take the numbers out so that you know where
Okay.
we stand.
all right,
But
The
the
item
original
is-
numbers will still be there,
yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
so they could put them back in if they wanted.
sure,
Yeah.
I'm okay, I'm just,
Okay,
So then you'll have an idea of what it looks like when we remove all these things
Yeah.
versus
okay.
Yeah,
without anything. removed.
Yeah.
Just want everybody to have a chance to speak.
yeah, like we're not gonna delete the roads.
Yep.
no.
Okay,
No,
thanks.
I understand. We do need to get
Yeah,
a number down.
And then the additional quote for a sweeper, we've got different, like, it's just different numbers, that's.
Yeah.
A smaller unit that's probably not. It's a lot smaller and,
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
yeah,
yeah, we just had about 3 different quotes, I
Yeah,
know, I
I
gave you
was
the
asked to
lowest
get a
one
bunch
and the
of different
highest one.
ones.
Okay.
I got lots of quotes and.
Yeah.
But these are tiny sweepers that we would be coming back to the shop every 10
Yeah.
minutes to dump it.
so in the $22,000 to repave section of the pathway, that's from Fort Street down to the waterfront. Is the piece that was quoted on, correct, Steve?
And I basically, just to say, I just did that to get a square meter price. I'm not saying that's the first, there is a section Jim and I have discussed that needs it probably more, but that gives us a overlay square meter price.
So the price, not necessarily the location.
Not necessarily, yeah. So
But it was based
that
on our
turns under the
location.
poplar trees by the service road.
Yeah,
It's probably where we would go first
Yeah.
with that.
I like, yeah,
So, and that would be an overlay on top because we don't want to dig there.
that's right.
We talked about going around it, but I don't, Jim and I discussed it and digging is not an option.
mhm.
So, but we may have to do 2 layers there to get it
Yeah.
above the water level, so that's more for a square meter price than it is
Okay.
for a specific location.
That's good to know, because then we can decide the highest need.
Yeah, and I think that's it, like, there's 2
Yeah.
sections that get underwater every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's by the fry truck and there, and I don't even think they'd add up to that distance. But if we had to do 2 layers, then we might get close to that,
Okay.
so.
Then 21,000 to replace 15 of the approximately 90 pathway lights, and they're starting to require a lot of maintenance, and so it's time to start looking at replacing them.
And that doesn't include the electrician's costs, by the way. So
Okay.
that is something else we'll have to just be aware of.
So then the dump truck piece, the 35,000 is if we decide, that expense could come up. Right now, the box on it is functioning, but it's getting very tired. And
What
if
year is
we,
that one,
Steve, I believe that is a 2012. Let me
Okay.
look, I've got it on. Actually.
so if we choose, well, regardless, whether we order a new truck or not, we may have to replace the box.
Yeah.
Prior to getting the new truck.
I go through the box.
35,000.
48,000 kilometers. Yeah, about that.
48,000?
48,000.
So 35,000 for the box, and then if you want to go with the stainless steel option, it's an additional 13,000.
Yeah.
So there's some. Again, those numbers, we're not looking to approve that spending, but that spending may have to happen if something happens to the box and it rots out. We may need to make that kind of an expense fairly quickly.
Yeah.
The 21. Yeah, two-way snowplow,
2008, sorry.
2008.
Whoa.
Thank you.
So that's 16-year-old vehicle. It's,
Mhm.
but as he says, only 48,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I know.
3,000
That's why I
kilometers a
put
year.
Box on the plow in.
Yeah, well, we had this discussion.
So.
So the two-way snowplow, they got
Yes.
one for one truck last year, and they found it quite useful and liked it. So it's 21,000 for another one, which could be transferred if we buy a new truck, could be transferred onto the new truck.
Yep.
Without much,
That would be the exact
Processing.
thing we'd ordered, would be on the order list, it's the exact same plow. So it's not like it would have to go with the truck.
and replacing the oldest Kubota mower.
So what about this replace or rebuild controller? There was no price in there to
I'm
get.
still waiting on a quote for that. I did speak with the guy the other day. And he said they've got this new laser technology they're using. And that we potentially could go with that, which would save us a bunch of money. So basically, instead of the loops in the ground, it would be a laser, because the loops are what's failing, like, so they're rotting underground. So he thinks that this might work. He said we can try it. If it doesn't work, they won't charge us for it. They'll take it back and then we can go take another step. But the gate opens on its own. Does a lot of weird things right now, so we're trying to solve that issue.
So leave the line in there for now, but no amount.
Yeah, I just don't have a price because we don't know exactly where, I'm trying to do it, because the gate's in good shape. The controller works, the opener works. It's the safeties and the controls that are acting up.
Okay.
So we're just trying to find the best cost effective way to replace that.
So then the next item is the Kubota mower, replacing the oldest Kubota mower, which we basically do one of those a year.
Every couple of years. How old's this one, Steve? You know, it says the oldest, but
Be the oldest one. I do have more based on hours than age, and we're reaching 2,000 hours on them. Which generally is where we like to trade them, because then they start to cost us a lot of money once they hit a certain hour level. But they all did cost me money last year, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the nature of the beast, unfortunately, but.
Did he give you a approximate trade-in?
About $10,000.
About 10 that we could put into revenue? No,
Okay.
Yeah. Good one.
And then the next item is a side-by-side type vehicle for students or whomever to use to get around the village for their work throughout the summer. It's with the number of bodies. There are not enough vehicles to go around. Crack sealing is something we've been doing with the county for a number of years, and we just budget 7,500 and do what we can. There was nothing done last year in this area, so we should probably move forward with it this year and get some of the worst spots done.
I'll have to find if we can get on the list, because last year, I think Glenn had put it out to Inram and Inram hadn't responded, so we missed the date. Because they order it with the county, everybody gets on board, does it together.
Mhm.
So I'll have to find out where we're at, because that might be something we have to agree to before budget. If we're gonna do it, because we have to get on with them for cracks.
The 30,000 on catch basins is just something we do every year, and most years we end up spending it.
That's
Sometimes,
new to our budget though.
oh, it is new for your budget.
I believe so. It used to be on Jay's budget. I think we only had maybe $5,000 before for catch basins. I'd have to. look
No,
at the
that's
budget.
operating. This is.
Oh, it's
different.
capital?
Capital.
Okay.
Just on that, Front Street. Close under the overpass, looks like there could be, maybe it was just full of junk, but one of the catch basins looked like it was. When I was driving by the other day. I don't know if you guys are out, take a look, just to see if it's just something something caught my eye. The
That
catch
was caving
basin.
in, or are you talking about all the asphalt or all the concrete that was piled up beside it? Cause the guys have been sucking those out, right?
Okay,
So
well,
I
maybe
cleaned
that
up a
was,
bunch of concrete piles that
yeah,
was
maybe that was what it was.
up by the lakes, maybe?
Wasn't that far, I didn't think. But
Cause they've been
anyway.
sucking them out, and anything they pull out, they leave up on the curb,
Okay,
so.
So-
But they just resurfaced that too, right?
yeah,
The county.
So when Jason comes in, we'll verify with him, but on his budget, the catch basin and sinkhole, I think it's more for breakdowns and stuff. I think this was for cleaning.
Oh,
Oh, okay, which they've done. Like you guys have spent all that money having these guys come in.
Is that what the badge?
So that's not with the condition assessments? And you
Well,
thought
it's
we
condition
talked-
assessments, but I believe Jay, I'm just hearing this through Jay, but you said there was money left over, so they're doing the catch basins now.
oh,
starting
yeah.
out with Jay.
Yeah, so when,
Yeah, so that might
Is
be,
that
that might be
part-
where that money's going.
Yeah,
so.
Nobody contacted me, but I planned on getting Blue Earth Power in to do it. And then
okay,
Badger's in doing them all, so I'm
Okay.
assuming we won't have to
We
do
do.
them this year, but.
throw it in that other, that's even better.
Okay, so we will leave it for now until we talk to Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then as Tina said, 453,000 is, we put some money aside last year for playground equipment replacement, waterfront park, and this is just the amount that was left from the original quote, so. We don't really anticipate spending that. We don't anticipate approval for this project this year.
So you wanna do out of your map money? Another portion of this? Cause we don't have that much map overall anyway.
You get 257.
We've got,
This year,
yeah, we've got 221 left.
or 321.
So 221 from prior to 2023.
In reserve.
In our reserve from 2023, and what was, there was basically nothing left from, and over maybe $59.
Oh,
But
okay,
basically, we have $260,000, 260, 278, and then under the 9,000 account for requests, there's 39,000 in requests.
okay,
So we got about 221, 278 left.
okay.
So do you want to just do another portion for now, or just take that out and see what's left from that when you're down through other departments?
Yeah, I would think we'd come back to this
Yeah.
one.
Okay. Put 0 for now.
It's a waiting game.
Okay. Whatever's left.
Um. 3842. That's okay, there's an electrical panel that gets moved down to the park whenever there's an event going on there. And this is to move it and make it permanent.
Okay, can I stop for a
Oh,
second?
yeah.
So out of the arena stuff and what we've done so far, was there anything that would have been Matt applicable? So we know where we're sitting.
I didn't see any.
The nets could be mad applicable.
That's where they were last time, so we ended up getting them in the budget. We went under Matt maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, that's what I
Maybe
meant to
that's-
mention that, sorry. So,
What's the criteria for that?
well,
Tourism related infrastructure.
so Nats at the arenas, tournaments and bringing people to town.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Okay,
well, that's how we kind of linked
yeah,
it.
so you want me to put?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my adjustments for Jim, like, so far, so just the mat, nets
How much with the
out of
Nats?
the arena.
3,100,
Okay.
something like that.
Community hall table.
I don't know why we're paying for them.
Well, theoretically, anybody, I know, anybody who does not live in the village comes in as a tourist. That's what is claimed.
Well, we should be.
That's
we
what,
should be
that's what I
promoting
heard.
the making.
I
Yeah,
agree with what
providing
Jim
that.
said too.
Yeah, like I'm not sure why we're paying for them to buy tables.
Okay, so let's do that one then.
So that needs to be a discussion.
That's a
So out of the
discussion.
arena, just the nets. And then, okay, sorry, and then
Yeah.
back to. Anything that we discussed so far.
I wouldn't,
Not yet, okay,
I don't think so.
just so we have an idea, okay.
Well, the panel, I guess, is that where we're at now? That could be.
It
Yeah.
could be, yeah.
Sure. You're
Yeah,
having
'cause
one-
it's
you're
special
having
events.
One of your movie nights. Right, you're having the Canada Day celebration, you're having
That's why
all of
we
that
need it.
draws in
It's
tourism,
community events.
and that's what we use it for.
Permanent placement in the waterfront park,
Yeah.
okay?
It goes in the same spot
Suggesting that
every
one.
year. I don't know why it wasn't permanent to begin with, to be
Yeah.
honest. Cause then all you do
Everybody
is walk in
agree
the back room and hit
How
a switch
much
and
is
it's on.
4,800, yeah,
42.
plus
Okay.
1,000 below
Oh,
is
yes.
the labor cost. That
Yeah.
could be all one line, but whatever.
Well, I think because the quote doesn't show the labor,
It
Jim.
doesn't, that was,
Oh, is that why?
he didn't,
Okay.
couldn't really quote it on because he doesn't really know what he's getting
Yeah,
into.
so
He
we
said
just wanna
at
make sure they're
maximum,
aware that there was gonna be additional.
It could be
Fine.
500.
Okay,
Yeah.
He didn't wanna give me a concrete number until he knows what he's dealing with.
Okay, so those are,
Some kind of table they're already under,
yep, 15,000.
they're already under, Matt,
No, they're just,
because it's a part, it's for the park.
we haven't got there yet.
Okay, so
So $4,815 is for,
Grinder?
yes, the grinder for sidewalk. So when we talked about this before, Steve, there was something about,
It's it's the dust.
yes,
And I believe you guys took it out last year anyway. And to be honest with what the guy does them for us, I think we just keep contracting. it.
okay,
I think so too.
The
Take that
grinding,
out?
just with the amount of,
Then the
Filtering and
procedures for dust and
like that,
everything
that
else.
number could double or triple with the vacuum you've gotta buy. I
Right.
think it's
Yeah.
gotta be on a trailer and.
Yeah.
This guy does a good job and like he did 75 of them last year for us for about $4,500.
The program works.
Hmm.
Plus that, so this year we should be about half that number, I would guess.
Yeah.
everyone's in agreement with that.
Mhm.
I'm taking that one out. So then, yes, we got $15,000 here for picnic tables.
okay, go back up, Jim.
Oh,
Of the-
Tennis court
Tennis courts.
resurface or
yeah, we don't
repair.
have a number yet for that.
The only number I have, it's not an actual quote. He just sent me that it would, to redo it, if we rip the surface up, it would be $70,000 to redo the whole thing. But the stuff that's there is, I'm trying to prepare, this is another thing I'm trying to prepare you for. In a few years, we're gonna have to make a decision on how we wanna proceed with that. Because what's been done, even the repairs that were done last year, 2 years ago, are starting to fail already. So that, whatever that product is, or the substrate, whoever the blame lays to, it doesn't matter. There is a time coming where that's gonna have to, decisions gonna have to be made, well, how we proceed with that.
So do you want me to add it in for discussion?
It doesn't hurt
Yeah.
to put it in there, so that, again, it's something
can
that council's
plan for-
aware of,
Like next
And is
year,
that something that you would consider Matt?
I would think
I
so.
would think
Okay.
so,
Yes.
especially at that price.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just,
Absolutely.
And that's with us removing,
Right,
which I don't even know if we could do. I haven't even looked at what it would take to get rid of it.
Yeah,
I just don't want to spend all the playground money.
it's, some
Well,
point.
yeah.
You gotta make decisions, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
okay, so
So then, yeah, picnic tables, we just budgeted 15,000, like there are so many picnic tables to choose from. The range in price from $400 or $500 to $1,500 to
I don't think they're gonna be
$2,000.
No,
$400 or $500.
I think they're-
Yeah, I don't think you
They're
want the
about
400 or 500
900
ones.
grand, yeah, and those are the ones that were on sale from last
Then.
year, so I doubt they're still on sale.
Yeah.
Now that-
So what we did is we just put a number. And,
Yeah, you
if
guys
you wanna,
decide.
if you wanna drop it
So-
down to 10,000, then we just buy what we can for 10,000. So, yeah,
Is that gonna be Matt?
it can be, yeah.
Or the waterfront park, I think it fits
Yeah.
easily.
so leave it 15 and keep it up towards Matt.
And then if they want to reduce it at budget day, we can talk about that later. The tables that we were selling at Waterfront Park,
Mhm.
were they 1,000?
They would have been more out
No, I
of
think it was
gas.
2,500.
Yeah,
they're-
that's weird.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
there you
really
go.
nice tables. Those would be expensive tables.
Okay.
So 25 makes sense for those.
Okay,
Yeah, they're really nice tables.
yeah, so that, to me, that's just gives you an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you get any of these new ones that are made of the composite
Yeah.
timber, they're all $1,800 to $2,500.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
I see that as a program, like every year you're adding so many tables.
Yeah, well, I said, like, even, we discussed it as a group at the shop, and we have those pads. So we could actually anchor some of them, like if you go around, if you look at Centennial Park in Sarnia. They're really nice tables, some of them spend a lot of money, they're actually anchored in to concrete, so that they can't be dragged around. Which is something we could do on those concrete pads, it's just another option,
Well,
instead of chaining them together.
But it's good to save on theft. too.
And then leave the wood ones for people to drag where they want. you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cause they do move the ones at the splash pad, but they don't move them too far because they're so heavy.
Yeah.
But we leave them, we want people to be able to put them in different spots, right?
Mhm.
okay, and I'm not sure why that. I don't know if I just forgot to hide that line or not. Banners, did we talk about banners?
That's done already.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
that's what I was thinking too, but,
We did that last
Yeah.
year.
And then
Um,
Philly got the Canada Day ones, which we can put.
okay,
in-
so I
we'll put
don't
those
need
up
to
in the
show that
spring,
line.
No, and then switch to summers when after Canada Day. so.
Okay. Radar speed signs.
What about that? It's still showing that flasher.
Yeah, it's,
That's gone?
Yeah.
I think I took it out.
Okay.
I need that line. The radar speed signs, did we have 15,000 in there before and we need to add more?
no, 15,000.
15 is the right number?
It's not on this
Oh, it's
sheet
not
where
on
it's
here.
something that
Okay.
Tina and I talked about the other day that
Okay.
I didn't get around to telling her, asking her to add it yet
Okay.
till after she produced the budget.
Speed sign, so like similar to what
So
we
that's
just put up,
Same.
Yeah.
a couple more?
Someone made a suggestion to buy 2 more. I'm not necessarily in favor of buying 2 more at one time.
Okay,
At
I
that
definitely don't
cost.
think we need one on St. Clair Street. I think
I
if we
don't
spend
either.
all this money on St. Clair Street, let's see if it works first.
So the suggestion was Venetian and St. Clair,
Front and St.
or
Clair.
so front and St. Clair.
okay, well, we'll leave it there for
Yeah.
now. Other discussion.
Yeah.
point. If you want to.
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
So there's road reconstruction?
Yeah, so the 6 million, we're leaving it at 6 million, even though we had the quote come in at about 5.8
Yeah,
between 5.3 and 5.4, but we're just
Yeah.
leaving it there for contingency and
You know, how that goes.
it's, it's, if it comes in, if we get it for, but then great. We'll be in a surplus situation.
Yes,
So then the next three items were, the 98, 89 and 91,000, I think, or 93.
100.
Those are the different intersections on Michigan,
yeah,
Alfred, Livingston and Monk, to put in, pedestrian crossings. And those are recommendations out of the active transportation study. Then the Louisa Street line painting, $30,000. We don't think that it will spend $30,000 there. This is the one I was talking about earlier where we could use, like, we're suggesting set aside $30,000, do Louisa Street and then do as much as we can on the other, you know, the other places where stop bars are needed or whatever is needed. And just, you know, be authorized to spend up to that $30,000, get as much work done as we can.
Yeah, if it's the heat down stuff, we can usually hit that number.
Yeah,
If we're painting, it's different, but if it's the heat down stuff, that's.
Yeah. I've got a question on the month in Michigan.
Mhm.
That transportation study suggested realignment. So we're just talking, and I don't remember any mention before of, a crossing there. Yeah, so. It was like they were talking about realigning the road. And it was gonna be
it
substantial.
was really a lot more. I
And, you know, we
believe,
kind of, we were shocked to see it. So is this just a PXO for?
I believe so. I can talk to Lydia about that.
Okay, so I know I have a company give me a couple quotes on those PXOs. I forwarded. So,
So, like, whether this work, like, whether there's time to actually do this work this year or not is debatable. Like, if it gets approved at budget on the 20, whatever day we're meeting, the 21st. Then I offer, like, Lydia has spent a little bit of time to prepare quotes. She's included in there is the actual estimate to do the work, her time doing planning and inspection, and survey work. Whether it can actually all happen, if we don't give approval till the 22nd of March, is debatable, but that's what's planned there, and if it gets done this year, great. If not, to me, the one we want to get done for sure is the one at Alfred Street where the school crossing is.
Okay.
That would be my
Alfred and
suggested.
St. Clair.
Alfred in Michigan,
Michigan, where we
Well,
have the
St. Clair,
crossing
Michigan.
guard.
Yeah, but
that's already done.
yeah,
Oh,
that's,
that's-
make sure we get those two.
Yeah, that's done already from the
Oh,
contract.
yeah.
The St. Clair in Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Livingston should take precedent over Monk by far.
Yes,
I agree.
yes.
So I think that's probably how we'll approach this with Lydia, if she thinks we can get, well, if council approves it. And she thinks we can get it all done, then we'd go for it all, but if, I think priority wise is Alfred, Livingston and Monk.
Okay. That's the order of priority.
In my mind anyway, and
Yeah.
and
Well, we
some,
can-
I
we
think
can
Steve.
talk. I think council was all on board, was similarly on board when we talked about it previous. We had our discussion on the program.
But I think that's everything. From this committee standpoint, I think.
Jen, without going through the numbers in the municipal part, can we go through what would be potential match? So I can, when we get to finance this afternoon, we know what we have left.
In the municipal office?
Yeah. I can't. I can't remember where the calendar is considered math.
We ever did that
Give them
before.
the
Okay.
others.
We give them to residents.
Okay,
Yeah,
promotional cost, access in the village.
that could be.
I
That
think
could
that
be.
was Matt. Okay. Special events, waterfront park,
Mm-hmm.
I think that was Matt. Yeah, that might be everything. And that where it says donation mat tax 39,000. That's gonna come down just slightly, because I base it on that, what's it called, age, whatever.
Age friendly?
3 days. And he's saying it's 2 days and 5 hours. But I'm gonna back up the tax, so we'll be paying a tax regardless, so that will come down just a little bit, and then you'll have a little bit.
Okay.
Alright, so that's all I need to know about that, alright? For now. Okay, any questions on that?
So,
Right, under donation. That pink line right there.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at one column. Thank you.
so the gray stuff there, whatever color that is, are we gonna discuss that next Thursday?
This, oh,
Well, it's kind of under,
a little bit of everything.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be,
Hold
So-
on, that discussion till Thursday?
yeah. All right,
Budget
finance. So we can go through it though, it's not. So $50,000 to start a reserve for 150th anniversary celebration was a suggestion.
and would that be Matt?
For sure. I think.
Well,
should be.
it could be, but
I know.
again-
it's
Coming
not.
out of the Matt reserve instead of
Like-
the normal,
if you ever wanna build your playground
Yeah,
equipment, you gotta quit
$50,000.
spending.
okay,
I never,
But-
I'm
no,
just
I'm
asking.
just saying.
Yeah.
if I know what we, leave it for now, just one of his suggestions, okay?
Yeah,
And then, I mean, the same with 100,000 to upgrade waterfront park washrooms. That could easily be a mat expense as well.
Yeah.
Whether that's
So
gonna
it's
happen or
$2,000 a
not.
year to put a porta potty down there, just so you know.
But we don't have a lot of Matt funds this year, or as much.
$15,000 to have some kind of like entertainment program down there, maybe weekly or bi-weekly entertainment to attract people down there. Suggested $25,000, and this is like when we were talking about the building for environmental services. The suggestion was made that we have a consultant in kind of do a review of all of our facilities and see what needs we have and how we could meet them. And that's just a proposed amount there. Alexander Ave sidewalk replacement, that's another suggestion we don't have a price on yet.
And the sidewalk up there needs to be, because there's nothing wrong with the sidewalk that's there.
It's there's nothing wrong with it, it's just very narrow.
It's not very narrow. It's actually probably meets standard. It's not narrower than most of the ones we have in the village.
I think
It's not a pathway.
It's narrow,
But it's
compared to
probably a
the path.
36+ inch sidewalk. It's like-
one of our better sidewalks
It
in the
is,
village.
so that's like, I think that just needs to be known. If you want a pathway there, put in for a pathway, but it is. There's nothing wrong with that sidewalk compared to most of the ones we have as is. And we are very limited on space when we're
yeah.
going under the
that's a
bridge
concern.
there. Very
Yeah.
low.
And then this $25,000. Am I reading that right? No,
You did that one,
yeah, it's up top already.
these attachment, exterior lights,
Yeah, that's like, that'll be a minimal,
that could probably go through operating.
yeah. Street sweeper is accounted for up above. $5,000 for, now we've got to get these signs straight.
This was a welcome, not a welcome to Point Everett, it was something else. Now, that was supposed to go to county for approval because it's on Front Street. And
It's actually, it needs to go to the Ministry of Transportation for approval.
Jason Cole told me they've talked to them about it, and the Ministry of Transportation said no. Did
Good.
they not
Wow.
get back to us on that? Cause I happened to run into him and he brought it up to me.
Okay,
He said that sign you guys asked for, he says MTO. won't
okay,
allow
I
it
have not been
Because
told
it's
that.
within their
Yeah.
highway right away or whatever.
Yes,
We looked into that like 7 or 8 years ago, and what the answer wasn't no, but it was gonna be extremely expensive.
Yeah,
And so if the answer is no, then that's,
It'll take that 5,000.
Yeah.
so, yeah, I didn't know.
okay,
about that.
so take that 5 out, then the. So this is, the next 10,000 is like upgrades to the crossing at.
Alfred.
Alfred, yeah, the
And
trail
Cause
crossing at
one
Alfred.
side's got tactile, on the Sonia side's got tactile, Pointward side doesn't. And there was never any discussion about doing that on the Point side.
Right.
When we talked about
There's-
this.
I've got a whole explanation from Imran
Yeah.
on why it was done the way it was.
Okay,
So,
If you replace the sidewalk, you have to put it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't replace anything also.
sorry you did, but
And
Okay,
there's actually no sidewalk there. The sidewalk ends at the pathway there.
Yeah.
There's no sidewalk continuing on into Cantero Park. There actually is no sidewalk there. It's asphalt.
Okay, take it out.
yeah,
They'll still see the 10,000.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
there's, that was also front, Fort Street as well,
yeah.
right?
And it's like, it's not that
Pathways
it's a
and
bad
sidewalks
idea to do it. It's just,
Yeah, I know.
We have to understand.
Yeah,
So something.
Just, you can't do everything in one year.
it's AODA compliant or whatever.
And as you upgrade those things, I'm sure we have to meet those standards, but I don't believe there's any retro. But I don't know for sure. If we did, then we'd be doing a lot of them.
so,
I think
yeah,
You gotta go by priorities, and you don't see that as a priority right now,
Yeah, no, I just,
on the
we need
basis
to have a
of,
discussion about
the
it. right?
basis of everything
Yeah,
else that
no,
we have.
totally understand.
Okay,
and then the $2,500 item, Christina at Michigan needs to go up to
it
5,000.
may not to 5, yeah.
For light?
No, that's replacing the sign
The one that's out,
at,
Oh,
that's being
okay.
repaired right now.
Oh, I
Well,
thought,
that's not just.
Oh,
the light.
maybe.
no,
It's-
this is just a light. out
No,
here, isn't it?
no, this is the
Take
sign.
that word light out.
No, we're gonna,
Incorporate it all into one?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. We're gonna make some changes to
Right.
the lighting
Doug's already-
potentially.
Doug's, we're gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Doug's doing-
the
he's already
LED
ordered
lights
it,
or something.
so
Well,
it's just a
Signs,
matter of him
flashlight.
doing it.
Yeah,
Okay,
and this was approved at a council meeting back in the fall.
Yeah.
So it'll be a nice bright light.
It's good just to
LED light,
understand.
and
Yeah.
Blind you.
sometimes I don't. Understand the wording.
That's fine.
I go by my best.
You do a great job.
Yeah,
That provision for reserve, oh, we're not really doing rest of the municipal,
No.
right? We're just doing Greg's. Okay. Okay, all right, so we update all this again. For the next meeting.
So nothing more on the capital there?
No,
Anybody else have any new business? No? Okay. Sure.
actually, I have one item, just thought of it. We met with the bridge recently and asked them about the possibility of having a bridge walk our anniversary year. And Joe said he did think that would be an issue at all. We could probably do it, so it's just an idea that was tossed out.
No.
And what did he say? They did it in, Sault Ste. Marie already did one. So there's a precedent for other bridges that have done it, so, and they got lots of notice and lots of time,
Yeah,
so. He said you could do it as another, bring back the bridge fund for 1 year, but I'd be just as happy to just open it up for a walk for anybody.
it's far from a done deal,
Yeah,
but it's,
yeah, it's just,
he expressed interest in it.
there's no other new business, financial statements for the arena, any questions?
No.
No, not anything, receiving file, public works. Same thing, I see nothing.
Mm.
No, okay. Next meeting will be April 9th at 10 a.m. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your March break.